Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Kiran. Shall we start our session? So, yeah. So, in the last session, we discussed about the Django REST framework related some basic points, guys. So, why required to learn this Django REST framework? Okay, Django REST framework, guys. This is we discussed in the last session. So if you want to learn this Django REST framework, what are the prerequisites? What are the prerequisites? Python is required, guys, and Django framework required, guys. Django framework also required. Okay. So what is the use of Django REST framework? So using the Django REST framework from one application to another application, we can communicate, guys. From one application to another application, communication we can do it. That is the major concept of the REST API, guys. Major concept of the REST API. Guys, one point remember, so many people don't know about the Django REST framework. In our Python side, people knows about the Python and Django only. Lot of people they don't know about the Django REST framework. So more vacancies there, guys, as a REST API developer. For the REST API developers, more vacancies there. Industry people also looking for the REST API developers. Why means the people who belong to REST API developer, then those developers can developing the Django coding also. But the people who belongs to only Django developer, then those people are unable to developing the REST API coding. That's why management people giving first priority to REST API developers, guys. Okay. So Python required, Python related framework Django required, and then Django extension framework REST API is also required, guys. Okay. Simply you can consider, so Django, guys, Django application, Django application without REST API, without REST API and with REST API, like 2 points there, guys, and with REST API, guys. Okay, Django application without REST API, Django application with REST API. Got it? So, for example, two words I'm taking here. So, Django application with REST API, with REST API. Okay, Django application without REST API, Django application with REST API. You need to focus, guys. Django application without REST API is like a person who not having legs and hands, guys. Like a physical handicapped. It is like a one physical handicapped person. The people who don't have legs and hands, looking like different, guys. So those people unable to do their works own. Okay, so they are unable to do any work, guys. The people who don't have legs and hands, but the person live existing, guys, person is not dead, but not having legs and hands, means that person unable to do any activities. Am I right? Same like our Django application also without REST API is like a physical handicapped. Okay, means a disabled application is like a disabled application. So a application, a Django application with REST API is like a complete man. Okay. So the person who having all organs in their body and working functions also properly, means all the organs, guys, like I mean liver, heart, okay, kidney, like so many, all things are working perfectly, like say hands, eyes, ears, all are working perfectly. Same like now our Django application also working beautifully with REST API. Clear this one? So in the yesterday I told guys one example mobile related. So one mobile brand is there, all features having good features. All features are very good there. Okay, high technology is there, but battery technology, battery backup is very less there. 10 hours you are putting charging every day, and 1 hour you are using. After 1 hour using, again 10 hours you need to put charge. Then obviously people are not interested to buy. People are interested to what? 1 hour we need to put charge, 10 hours we need to use reverse. Okay, so same like this one also, guys. Without REST API, if you are developing Django more beautifully, also people are not interested to communicate your application. They are not interested to use your application. Okay, with REST API only, people are ready to connect with your application. So if multiple people are connected with our application, then obviously our application getting more popularity. More popularity coming means obviously more profits also coming, guys. Am I right? So that is the reason why we are learning REST framework. Means this is the concept. Yeah. So next, any doubt? Okay. So next, guys, here Django to Java, Django to .NET, guys. I told here this is the Java application or Django application, whatever you want, you can take it. So this is one Django, guys, and here one Java is there. So Django to Java, Java to Django, Java to .NET, like all applications each other. If they want to do communicating, one mediator is required, guys. One mediator is required. That mediator we are calling what? JSON or else. JSON or XML we are calling as JSON or XML. Okay, so this is our Django, guys. Again I'm telling this structure. So why means important this one, you need to be understanding this Django app. So here Java app is there, Java app is there, guys. And now here .NET app is there. So .NET app is there. Okay, so Django to Java, Java to Django, unable to communicating. Sorry, guys. So Django to Java, Django to Java to Django, unable to communicating directly. Why means Django coding, guys, different. Java coding different. Django keywords different. Java keywords different. Django objects different. Java objects different. Way of writing code in Django different. Way of writing in Java different, guys. Okay. Here we are using different method to print the data. Here we are using the what? println method we are using. Okay, like different concepts there, so they are unable to understanding. Same like human being person, guys. You have, I mean, you are knowing Hindi knowledge, and I knows Telugu language. So I'm unable to communicate with you, you are unable to communicate with me. Okay, if you are talking in Hindi, I'm unable to understanding. If I'm talking in Telugu, you are unable to understanding. So we both required to communicate means one common language, which is what is English language required. Otherwise one translator person required, who knows both Hindi and Telugu. So whenever we are talking in Telugu, I'm talking in Telugu, the person converted into Hindi. Whenever you are talking in Hindi, the person converted into Telugu. Okay, same like now here JSON is also a translator, or XML is also a translator. Okay, so Django code, guys, Django code we are going to be converted into JSON format or XML format. If you want to do that conversion, here we need to write some lines of code. Next, now data is available in JSON format. This data now converted into Java format. Now finally Django request receiving to Java or not. Django information receiving to Java. Okay, so now Java processing that request, generating the response, giving back, guys. Giving back. So Java response converted into JSON or XML. Now response available in the JSON format, that is converted into Django format. Django format. After getting into Django format, that response now we can use in our Django. In our Django. This is the concept, guys. Okay. Same like this .NET also, guys. Same like now this .NET also converting their own language code into particular JSON format or an XML format. Okay, that's why in the real time, guys, XML data or XML JSON data, guys, JSON data or XML data people are calling universal message format data, universal data. If the data is available in JSON format or in XML format that data can understanding by all other languages in entire world. Understanding? So now that's why we need to be convert our native language. We are the Java developers, Django developers, guys. Our Django code into JSON, JSON code into Django. That is our Django developers role, guys. That is our Django developers role. Okay, and Java side developers role is JSON into Java, Java into JSON, like converting. .NET developers JSON into .NET, .NET into JSON, like they are going to be converting. Okay, means API developers role is converting their own language code, their native language code into JSON, and the JSON code into their own language format. That is our process, guys. So we are not .NET developers, we are not Java developers, we are REST API developers, Django developers. So we need to do this conversion. We need to do this conversion, guys. Okay, na? So guys, here using the pure Django also we can do this conversion. If you are using the pure Django, guys, if you are using the pure Django, then so more than 100 lines, 100 lines code required. More than 100 lines code required to converting Django code into JSON format, JSON code into Django format, like that, guys. Required. If we are using the DRF, guys, DRF means Django REST framework, then less than 10 lines code enough, guys. Less than 10 lines of code enough. Okay, less than 10 lines code required. So that's why this Django REST framework is getting more demanding. So Django REST framework is an extension concept of Django framework only, guys. Okay, the concepts which are available in the Django framework, those all concepts available in the Django REST framework also, plus some additional concepts there. Some new modules, new classes, new methods are provided by Django REST framework. Because of those new modules or classes or methods, our Django REST framework is getting more demanding nowadays. Okay, what methods there we will discuss slowly. Wait some time. Wait some time. Okay, so here, guys, these conversions we will doing means API developer, REST API developer doing. Using Django can do, using Django REST framework can do. Using the Django, this is the problem, more lines required. More lines means obviously more time taking, and readability is not good, complexity increasing, performance is decreasing. Okay, and duration increasing, like a lot of problems they're using the Django. If you want to converting Django to JSON, JSON to Django for making app to app communication. That's why people need to do use Django REST framework. Using Django REST framework with less lines code, we can develop. With less lines code means obviously within the less time we can write. And readability increasing, complexity decreasing, okay, duration decreasing, then obviously cost saving, best product developing. Okay, like a number of benefits there using the Django REST framework. Understanding? In our session, guys, I will show you using the pure Django, guys. Using the pure Django, how converting into JSON, and after that, how we are communicating to other application. So I will show you in our session, guys. In the live only, I will show you. So Django to other application to Django, like that. How communicating one Django to another Django, one Django to Python. Okay, like multiple applications parallelly, how connecting each other. I'll show you. Okay, now. So here one point remember, guys, what are the universal languages means? JSON and XML, universal message format. Why we are calling universal? Means if the data is available in JSON or in XML format, that is can understanding by all other languages in entire world. That is the reason. Okay, universal protocol is HTTP protocol, guys. Protocol there. So SMTP protocol there, FTP protocol there, HTTP protocol there. HTTP protocol we are calling universal protocol, and universal message format languages are JSON and XML. That's the reason. Okay. So this section we are going to learn, guys, in our regular session. Remember, later you are going to get more clearly. Okay. So next point, guys. Here JSON and XML both there. So our Django code we need to convert into JSON, and JSON code we need to convert into Django format. That is we are going to do here using our Django REST framework. Using our Django REST framework, always we are converting our Django code into JSON, JSON code into Django, but not XML. So here question coming, guys. Why not using people XML format? Why using only JSON format? Okay. Olden days people are using the XML format data also, guys. But nowadays most of the time, most of the people are using the JSON only, JSON format only. So why not XML? Why JSON? We need to be discussing, guys. So one word answer I'm giving right now. So XML having lot of drawbacks, guys. XML having lot of drawbacks. That's why people are not using this XML data to developing the APIs. JSON having the lot of benefits. That's why people are using the JSON type data for developing the APIs. So what drawbacks there, what benefits there, we will discuss clearly. Okay. Yeah. So now here, guys, we have two types of services, guys. We have some types of services, guys. We have types of services. Simply types of services. Majorly we are dividing like two types. One is soap based services, guys. Soap based services, and the second one is restful, guys. Restful based services. Okay. Restful based services. Restful based services. Okay, like two types there. So based services, restful based services. Using the Django REST framework, we are going to be developing the restful based services, guys. Not so based services. Django REST framework, if we are using, then we are going to be developing the restful based services. Okay, now. So I'll tell that point. Wait. So before that, one point can see. So Django REST framework, guys, DRF I'm calling. Django REST framework is an extension, guys, an extension, an extension concept of Django framework. Django framework. Django REST framework is an extension concept of Django framework only. Additional concept, guys. Nothing but here. So at the time of learning Django, guys, what are the concepts there here? What are the concepts there here? Those all concepts available, guys. Those all concepts available here. This is a Django, guys. This is our Django. So in the Django, what concept there? As a Django developer, you know right now. So models there, views there, URLs there, templates there, okay, forms there, and commands, guys. Migrate command is there, make migration is there. Am I right? Make migration there, run server is there, super user is there. Like so many are there. These all in Django you are getting. In Django you are getting, guys. So the concepts which are available in the Django framework, those all concepts available in the Django REST framework, plus some additional concepts available, guys. In the Django REST framework, some additional concept there, some new modules there, guys, and some new classes there, and some new methods there, guys. Some new methods there. Okay. So because of these new modules, classes or methods, this Django REST framework is getting more demanding. Okay. So Django plus these the new modules, the total together nothing but Django REST framework. Django REST framework. Okay, na? All Django concepts available in the Django REST framework also, plus some additional concepts there. So in our sessions, we are going to be discussing about these additional concepts only. What are the modules there? What are the classes there? What are the methods there? And using these all things, what we can do. Like these things we are discussing, guys, in our course. Clear? So while using these all things, guys, while learning these all things, at the time of learning these all things, so regularly we are going to use these all concepts also. Not exactly all, some major concepts. Models we are using, views we are using, URLs we are using, migrate command, make migrations, run server, like all the commands. These all concepts we are using in our Django REST2 framework also. Understanding? So that's why you need to have some knowledge about the Django framework, guys. Otherwise, you need to plan at least both at a time. Before the Django, don't plan the REST API. That is my suggestion. Before planning the Django, before joining the Django, don't join the REST API. After the joining, then you can join the REST API. Or else parallel you can join. Don't, no problem, guys. I'll take care. Okay. So now here, so because of those Django REST framework related new modules or classes or methods, Django REST framework nowadays getting more demanding, guys. So later we will discuss what are the modules there, what is the use of that. So before that, now services we are going to be discussing, guys. Services we are discussing here. So two types of service there, SOAP and RESTful there. Okay. So here question, guys, why people are not using, why people are not using SOAP based services, why using RESTful based? Okay. So why not using, guys, why not using the SOAP services, SOAP based services? Why not using SOAP services? And why using, why using, why using RESTful, guys? By using RESTful services. Understanding? Why not using the SOAP services? Why using the RESTful services nowadays? People are asking this question. In olden days, SOAP also used, RESTful also used, but nowadays only RESTful using more and more. Okay. So one reason, guys, one word answer. SOAP based services following the XML based data, guys. XML based data. Okay. XML data type. XML type data using. So XML having lot of drawbacks. That's why people are not used SOAP based services to developing the APIs. Got it? Simple answer. So SOAP based services following the XML type data. XML having some drawbacks. That's why people are not interested to use XML to developing the APIs. Okay. Next, guys, RESTful based services. RESTful based services following the JSON type data, guys. JSON type data. JSON having more benefits. JSON having more benefits. So that's why people are interested to use RESTful based services to developing the APIs. Okay, now? Now, what drawback there in the XML, what benefits there in the JSON, we will discuss. Obviously here, XML versus JSON you are going to get, SOAP based services versus RESTful based services. You are going to get knowledge, guys. So these things important for the interview. They may ask any question. Yeah. Now APIs are required for one application to another application communication. Those APIs using the SOAP based or using the RESTful based services we can develop. But nowadays using these services only people are developing. That is the point, guys. So using Django REST framework, if you are developing the APIs, those APIs are giving the RESTful based services only. RESTful based services only. Why means JSON only using our Django REST framework. Our Django REST framework primary goal is sending the request in the form of JSON and getting the response in the form of JSON. Okay, JSON input, JSON output, incoming JSON, outgoing JSON. Okay, remember that. Yeah. So now first one we are taking as SOAP services. SOAP services, guys. SOAP stands for what? SOAP stands for simple, guys. Simple object access, simple object access protocol. SOAP stands for Simple Object Access Protocol. SOAP structure follows the XML type data, guys. SOAP follows XML type data, guys. XML type data for developing. So simply I'm breaking here for developing APIs, guys. For developing APIs. So simple object access protocol follows the XML type data for developing the APIs. But XML having some drawbacks. Okay, some limitations. XML having some drawbacks. That's why people are not. Not interested to use, guys. That's why people are. Not ready to develop APIs using this SOAP based concepts. That's why people are not ready or else not interested. People are not interested. So that's why people are not interested to use SOAP services. SOAP services for developing APIs. Okay, na? All of you? This point. So SOAP stands for Simple Object Access Protocol. SOAP follows the XML type data for developing the APIs, but XML having some drawbacks. That's why people are not interested to use SOAP services for developing the APIs. Understand this one? Yeah. So next, guys, here what drawbacks there? XML having what drawbacks? Now we'll discuss, guys. XML related. XML stands for extensible, guys. Extensible markup language. Extensible markup language. So XML containing all tag based syntax, guys. XML having full tag based structure only. XML having tag based syntax only. So everything we need to write in between the tag only, guys. In between the tag only. So tag based syntax means like you are going to write, guys. Employee. So employees I'm writing, guys. And that employees you are going to be closing. So employees closing. Now here in the employee, guys, one employee object is there. So now EMP. In this EMP, now EMP number, guys. Employee number. So I'm going to write number 10. And next EMP number I need to be closer. So every open tag, guys, this is the open tag, this is the close tag we are calling. And again open tag, again close tag we are calling. Okay. So again open tag and the close tag is there bottom side. So every open tag required close tag, guys. Every open tag required close tag. So here EMP name, for example, Srinivasa. Okay, like you're getting, guys. So now here this one, employee number 10, employee name Srinivas, like we are getting, guys. Okay. So here one more data you can write and without we can write. So like XML related we are writing like this way. XML related like this we are writing, guys.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಡೆಮೋ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಡಿ ಜಾಂಗೋದ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ದುರ್ಗಾ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಅವನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವನ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Guys, please mute your speaker. Yeah. So this is XML syntax, guys. XML syntax. So this XML having lot of open tags, guys. These all are we are calling open tags. And also these all are close tags, guys. Closing tags. Means all open tags require the close tags, guys. And also case sensitively we need to write open tag required to close the same characters. Case sensitive, guys. So here only two objects I created, object 1, object 2, two employees information. If more employees information is there, then a big structure coming, guys. Okay, lot of open. So this entire one we are calling the XML object, guys. XML object, nothing but one employee object, employee object. Okay, so XML objects containing heavy structure, guys. That is one drawback. XML having heavy weight. XML is a heavyweight component. Heavyweight component. Nothing but this is the syntax, guys. More tags we are writing. Lot of open tags, close tags, like that. Multiple things we are writing. If you want to get this name, guys, like this via in-depth level, we are traveling to get this name. Okay, and every time we are closing these things. So not required like this, guys. People are not interested to use this one. It takes a lot of time, and the complexity, readability is decreasing, complexity increasing. Okay, performance decreasing, like a lot of problems there. That's why people are not interested to use. So major point is XML is a heavyweight component because of this structure. Later, guys, in the application 1 we created a XML object. So into the application 2 we are going to send, guys. In the application 2 we are sending. From application 1, this is what app 1. From application 1 to application 2 we are going to be sending, guys. Okay, so our XML object. So XML object via the internet traveling, guys, via the networking traveling from one location to another location. So because of this heavyweight component, more bandwidth required. More bandwidth required. More bandwidth means internet speed, guys. Internet speed is required. More internet speed you are taking means more money we need to spend. More amount we need to spend, guys. For 1 MB speed some amount, for 2 MB speed some amount, for 10 MB speed some amount we are spending, guys. Same like if you want to send the XML object from one location to another location, then more internet required. Technically we are calling bandwidth. So for the more internet purpose, more money we need to spend. Then obviously cost of the project increasing. Cost of the project increasing. If internet speed is very low is there, guys, more time to taking for transferring the data from application 1 to application 2. Okay, now? So guys, for example, I opened I want to open YouTube, guys, and I want to watch some video for entertainment purpose. Want to watch some videos for entertainment. So if I'm sending www.youtube.com, if immediately coming YouTube, then I will watch videos. If I'm sending right now request, after 1 hour or 2 hour YouTube page opened, then up to that time 1 hour, are you going to wait? Are you going to wait? No, definitely we are not waiting. We are going to play some other games. Okay, we are going to use Facebook or something. So if people are not waiting for our application means then not interested, guys. So not interested means unable, not interested to use application. If not using our application means our application not getting popularity. Okay, like problems there. So because of the XML object, guys, more time taking while traveling from app 1 to app 2 XML object. That's why more internet required, then only speed done, speedily sending. Okay, more internet means more money we need to spend. That is the concept. Okay, finally XML object, that employee object receiving here, guys. Employee object receiving here. So storing here, guys. Now in this object, number, name, like all there, guys. So if you want to get that employee number, employee name, another employee number, employee name, like that. So that is we are calling the parsing, guys. So technically we are calling parsing. The process of extracting the data, the process of extracting the data from XML object is called parsing. Technically we are calling as parsing if you want to take the data from the XML object. Okay, so parsing the data is taking more time, guys. Parsing the data is taking the more time. Nothing but accessing the data from the XML object is taking more time. Okay, na? So that is also one problem, guys. So that is also one problem. That's why people are not interested to use XML data type for developing the APIs. Okay, and because of this heavyweight component, guys, more lines required. More lines required. because of the more lines, more time taking while executing the program. Obviously, time increasing. Time increasing means performance decreasing. Okay, lines increasing means readability decreasing. Like all points there, guys. One after another, interlinked all the concepts. Take one point and build up all the points around that point. Okay, now? So that's it. And also, guys, XML object whenever we are sending to other application, one software we are using as WSDL, WSDL we are calling WSDL language, WSDL software is required if you want to transferring object from our application to another application. Okay, WSDL stands for web services, guys. Web services description language. WSDL stands for Web Services Description Language. Okay, so by using this software, support XML objects sending to other application, guys. XML objects sending to other application. Okay, now understanding all of you. So here finally using the XML, guys, final conclusion points. XML is heavyweight. Because of the heavyweight, more lines code we are writing. Because of the more lines, more time taking, and I mean writing purpose only more time taking, and for execution purpose also more time taking. Obviously performance decreasing. Okay, readability decreasing. Okay, complexity increasing. Like problems there, guys. And I mean sharing the information is also taking more time. If you want to reducing the time, then more bandwidth required. Obviously cost increasing. So always industry people are looking for three factors. One is they need to save time, they need to save cost, they need to develop best product. Those three factors are not possible by using the XML, getting the problem. Okay, that's why people are not interested to use this SOAP architecture to developing the APIs. SOAP not using means nothing but XML not using. Okay, now that's it. Next, guys, we can take it JSON, guys, JSON related. So JSON and XML both are using for transferring the data from one application to another application only, guys. So JSON, guys, JSON. JSON stands for what? JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript object notation. JavaScript object notation, guys. JavaScript object notation. So Java means it is a Java related, like don't think, guys, name taken like JavaScript object notation, which is derived from the JavaScript programming language, JavaScript front end related programming language. From that this JSON was derived, guys, developed. Okay, so JSON is used for transferring the data from one application to another application. For exchanging purpose we are using. Okay, so JSON is a lightweight component, guys. JSON is a lightweight component. Okay, so lightweight component, guys, lightweight component. JSON is a lightweight component which contains curly brace structure, guys. Okay, so which contains curly braces, guys. Curly braces. So lightweight component which contains the curly braces syntax with the key value format, guys. Curly braces syntax with a key column value format. Key column value format. Same like our Python dictionary concept, guys. In our Python we know, guys, dictionary. So dict concept, guys, dict data. So in Python dictionary, curly brace key values we are writing, guys. So for example, EMP number, then some number, next E name, guys, then some E name. Okay, Srinivas. So like we can write, guys, employee number, employee name, salary, then 10,000, like that. Okay, this is the dictionary, guys. Our JSON is also a looks like same. JSON is also a looks like same. JSON data. So you can write same data. Okay, no problem. So guys, if it is a dictionary, we can write with a single quotes also, guys. We can write with a single quotes also. Okay, so now writing the single quotes, okay, and double quotes there. So using the single quotes we can write, using the double quotes we can write. That's your wish, guys. And now one column 10 I created. If it is a JSON, guys, if it is a JSON, all string values must be double quotes only, no single quotes. In Python, single or double we can take it. Okay, so but in the JSON only double quotes. And also, guys, all the keys in the form of string only. All the keys in the form of string only. For example, so one column 10 we need to write. So here one column 10 we are writing like this. But here all keys should be string only, I told. If it is a string, double quotes required. One column 10. Like, okay now? That is the JSON rule, guys. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. JSON follows the curly brace syntax with the key value format, same like Python dictionary. All the keys are double quotes only, nothing but string format only. And all the values, guys, values may be different types. Integers there, floats there, numbers there, characters there, whatever. Okay, so values we can give it different values, guys. Values we can give different values. So right now syntax, remember this is the syntax, JSON related. So using the number we'll get the number, guys. Using the name we will get the name. Using the salary we'll get the salary. Means directly using the keys and values we are getting. No open tag, no close tag like that, guys. Okay, yeah. So next, guys, JSON is a lightweight component. That's why people are interested to use this JSON. JSON is using by RESTful based services. That's why in the RESTful based services, JSON getting popularity. Okay. So next, guys, whenever we are sending JSON object data from application 1 to application 2, then less bandwidth is enough. Because of the less bandwidth, the less amount required to spend. Less amount required to spend. Okay, na? So less amount you are spending means the cost of the project saving, guys. And less lines code you are writing means duration of the project also saving. Obviously performance increasing. Okay, readability increasing, complexity decreasing. Like a lot of informations we are getting, guys. Okay, a lot of benefits there using the JSON. Okay, now understanding both of all of you, JSON and XML behaviors. So in the XML, what are the drawbacks there? Those all drawbacks are like a benefits in the JSON, guys. So if you want to send the JSON object, no need to use the WSDL language. WSDL, web services description language. Okay, now all of you. So this is about the JSON and about the XML, guys. So because of these all benefits in the JSON, guys, people are nowadays interested to use the RESTful based services to developing the APIs. Why means in the RESTful based services, JSON format we are using, then that is more dynamically getting. Okay. Nowadays the trending one is JSON only, not XML. So you need to give that answer, guys. Why not using the XML? Why using the JSON? Or else why not using the SOAP based services? Why using the RESTful based services? This is the reason. Okay, all of you? Yeah. So next, guys, some general terms there, guys. Right now services we discussed, and some general terms there in the REST API what we are using regularly. Some general terms there. What is API? Okay. What is a web API? What is a web API? What is the REST? Okay. What is the REST API? Okay. Like these things we need to be discussing, guys. What is Django REST framework? Django REST framework is nothing but one extension concept of Django framework only. The concepts which we are using, or else, I mean, To developing the APIs, we need to be follow the principles, guys. Okay, to communicating one application to another application. So here we can see this is the app 1 and this is the app 2, guys. From application 1, from application 1 to from application 1 to application 2. If you want to send any information communication, then we required one mediator, guys. That mediator is nothing but API. That mediator is nothing but API. Okay, so app 1 to app 2 and app 2 to app 1 will communicating to each other. Okay, right? Okay, all of you. So we required interface. That interface is nothing but API. So API stands for application programming interface. API stands for application programming interface, guys. So API contains the collection of classes and methods, guys. Collection of classes and modules there in the API. In the API, guys. So using the APIs, what we can do means one application to another application, people communicating purpose, we are developing. That's about the API, guys. What is web API? In interview, guys, any one question only they are asking. What is web API? Means the APIs which are developed for web application purpose. The APIs which are developed for web application purpose, then we are calling the web APIs. For example, application 1 is belongs to Swiggy, guys, or Zomato. So Zomato is the web application. Zomato is the web application, guys, web app. So for this web application purpose, if we are developing any API, that API we are calling the web API. That API we are calling the web API. Okay, now guys. So for the normal application purpose, normal APIs only they are going to be learning. Okay. Next, what is REST, guys? What is REST? REST stands for representational RE, guys. Representational state transfer. Okay. Representational state transfer. That is the abbreviation, guys. So REST is an architectural style. REST stands for representational state transfer. REST is an architectural style. REST is an architecture. Architecture means some predefined plannings giving, guys. For example, if you are taking your new home, guys, you want to construct one building. So before going to be constructing the new building, first we are taking the planning, guys. Which side bedroom required, which side all room required, which side hall required, which side fridge required, like that. Everything we are taking the planning, guys. Okay. So using the REST principle, guys, we can get these all plannings. So REST stands for representational state transfer. So using the REST, guys, using the REST from one application to another application, we will communicate. That is the process, guys. So REST API, guys, REST API. First, listen, guys, REST, representational state transfer, which is an architecture. By using this architectural style, we can communicate to each other. Like we are understanding, guys. So you are developing one API for that is the web application related. That's why we are calling the web API. Now these APIs, if we are developing by following the REST principles or REST guidelines, guys. REST API providing some rules and regulations, guys. If you are following the REST principles or guidelines to developing the application, then we can develop it, guys. Okay, now? So REST is an architectural style which is providing the some rules and regulations for developing the APIs. So REST is providing some principles to developing the APIs, guys. By following the REST principles, if we are developing the API, then we are calling the REST APIs. Okay, the APIs which are developed by using the REST principles, then we are calling the REST API. Okay, guys. API, web API and REST API differences. So again, guys, one point here. REST representing the representational state transfer, guys. So this is the client, guys, and this is the server, guys. This is the server application. So here client application is there, client app, and now here server app there guys. Server app there. Client to server, we are going to be communicating guys. So here REST stands for representational state. Representational means from application 1 to application 2. If we are sending the request, then receiving that request guys by server application. So whenever client is sending the request to the server guys, so which application we are calling the client? First of all, the application which is sending the request and getting the response is called what? Client application. Okay, so clients always sending the request and getting the response. So at the time of sending the request only, we are going to be representing what we want to do. That is the state guys. I want to get the data in the database. I want to get the data in the server side application from the client side application. Okay, so state means I want to get the data, I want to create the data, I want to update the data, like that. Information. State means nothing but behavior we are providing guys. And the T means the transfer from server to client to server, data transferring. Okay now? So representational, at the time of sending the request only, representing state of the operation, what you want to do, and exchanging the information from client application to transfer application, nothing but a server application. Okay, so now my server is going to be communicating with the database guys. Server is communicating with the database. Okay, now from the client application, whenever we are sending the request guys, server receiving that request, processing that request, generating the response, giving that response back guys. So which application we are calling the client, which application we are calling the server, that information required guys first of all. So at the time of sending the request only, we are representing what you want to do, that state we are transferring. Okay, so JSON request we are sending, JSON response we are getting guys. That is nothing but transferring the request and responses. Transferring request and responses guys. Okay, so guys, here request we are sending means that is nothing but URL only. So in the server side guys, for every request one resource generally maintaining guys. In the server side, for every request one resource going to be maintaining. Okay, so resource 1, resource 2, resource 3, like that guys. So R1, resource 1, resource 2, resource 3, resource 4, like that guys. Okay, so if I'm sending the Facebook request, nothing but resource 1 belongs to Facebook, resource 2 belongs to YouTube, resource 3 belongs to Gmail. If I'm sending the Facebook request, then Facebook page only will come. If I'm sending the YouTube request, then YouTube page only will come. Okay, so that is state guys. You are representing what you want to get after getting what you want to do. Like these all information we are transferring. That's why people taken our framework name is the REST, representational state transfer. What I want to do, that is you are representing. So REST is providing some principles, guidelines for developing the APIs. Then those APIs we are calling the REST APIs. The APIs which are developed by using the REST principles we are calling the REST APIs. That's it. Okay now? So these all general terms, are you understanding? API, Web API, REST API, all are general terms only. So these all terms related, you are going to get material guys. So today second session only, tomorrow third session. Tomorrow I'm going to take your mails. The people who are attending the tomorrow, then I'm going to take the mails, and to those mails, these all theoretical points I'm going to share. All the definitions guys, API, Web API, REST API, these all, and also SOAP based services and RESTful based services related, I'm going to share you material. And why Django REST framework, what are the required to learn Django REST framework, and about the Django REST framework, like some all major theoretical points you're going to get guys. Okay now? So I told you guys already some images also. With images, REST API and Django differences I explained. Tomorrow I'll show you some images. And universal message format languages are XML and JSON related also we discussed. I'll share some material about those things. So next, HTTP protocol is universal protocol. Message universal languages are JSON and XML for exchanging the information. Python, Java, these all are popular languages. Only JSON and XML are transferring related languages. Data exchanging purpose we are using. So these are all basic theoretical points. Remember, guys. In the next session, some other points you are going to get about the REST API. So REST API advantages, something we discussed, guys. REST API features there. REST API what providing features. Those features tomorrow session I will explain clearly, guys. Lot of features there. Because of those features only REST API is getting more demanding nowadays instead of SOAP APIs. Okay, what features there? I mean, each feature advantage is what? Tomorrow we will discuss. Once the features also completing, then we will start the REST API installation. REST API installation. Okay, now? So thank you guys for this day. I'm going to stop now. If you are having any queries, you can ask me. Queries?